I am Jill Baird, and today we have a 30-minute power vinyasa flow to Eagle Pose. We're going to go ahead and get started down on our back. So make your way down on to your back. Go ahead and walk your feet to the wide edges of your mat and let your knees fall in towards one another. Bring your left hand to your heart and your right hand to your belly. Close your eyes. And we're going to take 3 cleansing breaths together. Nice deep inhale through the nose. Fill up with breath. And an open mouth exhale, let go. Again, deeper, fuller inhale, drawing in even more breath than you did that first time. And with your open mouth exhale as you empty out, allow yourself to soften. Relax your shoulders, relax the muscles in your face. And one more, deepest, fullest inhale yet, bringing in that breath until you feel like you cannot take in another sip. Holding that breath at the top. And then the most powerful, empty, open mouth exhale yet, just letting go of anything that isn't necessary to be with you on this mat for the next 30 minutes. Then begin to seal your lips, inhaling, filling up through the nose, and exhaling powerfully but through the nose, creating an audible ocean-like sound with your exhale. And just taking the next couple of rounds of breath to even out your breath that we're going to be using throughout our entire practice today. On your next inhale, go ahead and blink your eyes open. And as you exhale, you can bring your arms down by your side or out to the side like a cactus. And just begin to windshield wiper your knees from side to side. Inhaling as you come through center. And then exhaling as the knees fall in one direction. Then inhaling and exhaling. And then coming back through center, on an exhale, hug your knees into your chest and just kind of rock side to side, gentle little massage for the low back. Come to center, and on an inhale, hug your right knee in towards your right shoulder as you lengthen the left leg. Stay active in the left leg, and as you exhale, hug that right knee out and around towards your right armpit. Flexing all 10 toes back towards the knee. Take an inhale breath, left palm finds the right knee, and as you exhale, twist right toes over to the left side of the mat, and your gaze can be up or out towards the right fingers. As you inhale, think about lengthening from that right hip to the right shoulder, and as you exhale, twisting just a little bit deeper. On an inhale, carefully come back to center. Exhale, knees into the chest, and just rock side to side. On an inhale, hug the left knee in as you extend that right leg long, staying nice and active by flexing all 10 toes back towards the knees. Exhale, guide that left knee out and in towards the left armpit, just waking up the hip flexor, giving it a little stretch there on the left. And then on your next exhale, left knee over to the right side, and then you can cactus that left elbow or extend the arm out straight, simple twist. And don't force anything, don't wrench your knee down, just allow the twist to be where it is. And then exhale, come back to center. Hug the knees into the chest, and then we're going to come into a bridge pose. So heels in towards the glutes, fingertips reaching down towards the heels, feet hip-width distance apart. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, lift your hips. Squeeze your buns and press into all 4 corners of your feet. Inhale, slowly lower, hovering the tailbone above the mat. And then exhale, lift the fronts of the hips. Hug your buns in. Magnetize those inner thighs in towards one another. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, slowly roll down, starting at the shoulder blades towards the tailbone. And then exhale, lift and hold. For 4, 3, squeezing, 2, 1, and then slowly lower. We're going to come up into a single side bridge. So as you exhale, squeeze your buns, lift your hips. Draw the right knee in towards the chest, and then you can bring your palms to the front of that right knee, pressing into all 4 corners of the left foot, really feeling the back side of that left leg begin to fire. And then inhale, release, and slowly roll down. And we'll do that on the opposite side. Exhale, press into all 4 corners of both feet. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, draw the left knee in, bring the palms to the front of the left shin, and continue to squeeze that right glute, hug the outer right glute in, and then notice how the hamstring on that right leg turns on. Core activation here. And on your next inhale, release, slowly roll down. Exhale, hug the knees into the chest. And we're going to bring the right knee on top of the left, and you can hug those right toes behind the left leg if that's accessible, or they can just sit next to the left ankle. Bring your right arm under your left, wrap at your elbows and your wrists. Inhale, fingertips and toes touch the mat. Exhale, crunch, head, neck, and shoulders lift as the knees and the elbows come together. Inhale, lengthen. If you can keep your low back glued to the mat, fingertips and toes touch. And exhale, tuck, round, and curl. Let's do that 3 more times. Inhale, find length. And exhale, hug everything into center. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hug it into center. 1 more. Inhale, lengthen. And this time on our exhale, we're going to pulse it, hold it together for 5, lift a little higher, 4. You've got this, 3, last 2, and 1. Inhale, lower, unwrap, reach the fingertips and the toes in opposite directions. And on an exhale, draw your knees in towards your chest. This time, left leg binds over the right, left arm under the right. Inhale, fingertips touch the mat overhead, toes in front. And exhale, tuck, round, and curl, eagle crunch. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, tuck, round, and curl, elbows to knees, knees to elbows. 3 more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, tuck, round, and curl. Inhale. Exhale, hug everything into center. Inhale, lengthen, and 1 more. Exhale, tuck, round, and curl. Lift a little higher, tuck a little tighter, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release, stretch fingers and toes long, and on an exhale, hug your knees into your chest, cross your ankles and rock and roll 3 times the length of your spine, and we'll all meet in a tabletop position. So stacking shoulders over your wrists, hips over your knees. Inhale, cow pose, melt your belly, lift your hips, lift your gaze. Exhale, cat, tuck, round, and curl. Press your palms and your shins into the mat. Inhale, cow pose, shoulder blades hug together and down your back. And exhale, tuck, round, and curl, belly button towards the spine, tailbone to the mat. Let's do that 1 more time. Inhale, cow pose. And exhale, cat. This spinal articulation is so good for our posture and for our spinal health. Inhale, back to tabletop. Exhale, drop your shoulders away from your ears. Inhale, right thumb to right shoulder. peel open, reach those right fingertips up towards the ceiling, and exhale, thread right arm underneath the left. The outer right shoulder and the right temple come to the mat, and then extend your left fingertips out. Gaze underneath that left shoulder. Do your best to keep your hips over your knees, not opening towards the left. So a little thoracic rotation here. And then bring that left palm back underneath your left shoulder. And on an inhale, peel open, right fingertips towards the ceiling. We're going to pivot on our left knee, and we're going to extend our right leg out to the side in a supported side plank into gate pose. So as you press the right fingertips right toes into the mat, reach the fingertips overhead. Turn the pinky finger down, the right pinky finger down, and press the fronts of your hips forward. On an exhale, bring the right hand back to the mat, right knee back to the mat, and sit your hips back into a child's pose. On an inhale, come back up to your tabletop. Untuck the toes. Exhale, pull the belly button back towards the spine. Inhale, left thumb to left shoulder. Peel it open, left fingertips reach up towards the ceiling, and exhale, thread the left arm underneath the right. The outer left shoulder temple on the left come to the mat, and then crawl those right fingertips forward. Guide your right underarm down towards the mat. You should feel a nice stretch, not only in the outer left shoulder, but also in the top of the chest on the right. Hi, Fiona. Slow the breath. And then on your next inhale, bring the right palm back underneath the right shoulder. Give a press into it. Reach the fingertips on the left back up towards the ceiling. Come back into your tabletop. This time we'll pivot onto our right knee. Extend the left leg, coming into gate pose. So draw your tailbone down towards the mat. Hug your tailbone under. Reach those left fingertips towards the front of the room. And notice the difference as you rotate your pinky inward and down towards the mat. Keep gazing up, and then gently bring the left hand back to the mat, and then left knee back to the mat into your tabletop pose. From here, walk your palms out about a palm's distance, tuck your toes, lift your hips back towards your heels, and then up and back into downward facing dog, creating that upside down V with your body, equal weight between the hands and the feet. As you press your palms into the mat, as if you're pressing that mat forward and away from you, guide your shoulders down your back, then separate your shoulder blades out towards your armpits. Give your quadriceps a squeeze, and take a breath. Inhale, gaze forward, and exhale, step your feet behind your hands, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root down into your feet and lift everything else up and away from the mat, Tadasana. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Hinge at your hips. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant your palms, step back to high plank, and then come down into a forearm plank. So forearms are parallel, elbows are pulling back towards your toes, toes pulling forward towards your elbows. Give your quads a squeeze, give your buns a squeeze, and we're gonna hold here for 4, slow your breath, 3, 2, 1, and go ahead and bring your right palm where your right elbow was, left palm up, and then downward facing dog. You can take a couple pedals here if that feels good, or wag your tail side to side. Doing your best to find length from the tips of your fingers to your tailbone. Heels never have to touch the ground. Inhale, look forward, and exhale, forward fold, feet behind hands at the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, think deadlift here, hips draw back, chest lengthens forward. Exhale, fold, and inhale, rise, tuck your tailbone under, Tadasana, mountain pose. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, plant your palms, step back, high plank, top of a push-up. Bring your right elbow down to where your right palm was, left elbow to where the left palm was. Coming into that forearm plank. Take an inhale breath, and as you exhale, tap both knees to the mat. Inhale, press through your heels to come back up. Knees tap, and then come back up. Inhale, tap. Exhale, fire up the legs, press through the heels. And again, imagine pulling elbows back towards palms, or back towards toes, toes towards the elbows. Let's do 2 more. And then bring your left palm to where your left elbow was, right palm to where right elbow was, downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward, and exhale, forward fold, step the feet behind the hands. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, fold, and inhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, plant your palms, high plank. This time, lower back down to your forearms. Then we're going to come into some hip dips. Drop the right hip, come back through center. Drop the left hip, come back through center. So, the upper body, from the belly button up, stays exactly as it is in a stationary forearm plank. It's the hips that are dipping from side to side. Let's do 1 more each side. And then come back to forearm plank, press up to high plank, and downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward, and exhale once again, forward fold, top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold, and inhale, chair pose. Sit your hips down like you're sitting in an imaginary chair. Press your shins back so that your ankles are stacked directly underneath your knees. And then bring your thumbs to your shoulders. Open up your shoulders. Extend the arms out, pinkies in, thumbs up. And then if you can keep your shoulders down away from your ears, just continue to lift your arms with the pinkies in and the thumbs out. Tuck your tailbone under, magnetize those inner thighs in towards one another. And on an exhale, we're going to ground the right foot and take a big step back with the left toes, coming into Crescent Lunge. So feet are hip-width distance apart. Right hip is tugging back and down, the left hip up and forward. Stack your shoulders over your hips. Pull those front ribs in. And on an exhale, open up, Warrior 2. Heel to arch alignment. Give a press into the pinky edge of each foot. And then draw the front heel back towards the inner left arch and the back left arch up towards the right heel. Chin gazes out over the right fingertips. Inhale, flip that right palm. Peaceful warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Let's do that again. Inhale, peaceful warrior. Legs stay exactly the same. And exhale, extended side angle. Rotate your chest up towards the ceiling. The right ribs pull under. Inhale, warrior two. Straighten that front leg. Reverse triangle. And exhale, Trikonasana, triangle pose. Bump the left hip back. Tuck and hug the buns under. Right palm or the back of the right hand reaches for the inner right shin. And then lengthen both side bodies out of the waist. Just like in that extended side angle, the chest is spiraling up towards the ceiling. Inhale, back up to warrior two. On an exhale, pivot back onto your left toes to come back into that crescent lunge, and then bring your left arm under your right into an eagle wrap. We're going to balance and come up into eagle pose. So you can bend into the knee, the left knee, spring off of the left toes, and then come into the wrap, wrapping the left leg around the right. Sit back into your right heel and pull your hips over to the left. You can reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling, and on an exhale breath, you can hug everything back into center, just like we did on our backs at the beginning of class. Find that focus point that's not moving, hollow your belly, and then on an inhale, we're gonna unravel and come up to mountain pose. And let's just take a side bend. Up and over to the left, draw the right thumb back, inhale back through center, and then use your right hand to guide your left hand over to the right. Hips face forward, chest opens towards the ceiling. And then exhale, go ahead and bring your palms back to heart center. Take a moment to catch your breath. Inhale, Tadasana. And exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant your palms, come back to a high plank. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, pin the elbows into the side, chaturanga. Press back up to plank. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, shift forward onto the toes. Hover the chest, pull the elbows back towards the hips. Press back up 1 more time. Exhale, hold, flip to the tops of the toes. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale, forward fold at the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, and inhale, rise, Utkatasana, chair pose. Tuck your tailbone under. And then give your buns a squeeze. And as you tuck your tail under and give your buns a squeeze, you should feel your oblique muscles turn on. And then extend the arms up into chair pose. We're going to balance on the left foot, hover the right, take a big step back into crescent lunge. So feet are parallel. All 10 toes face forward, and we're thinking that our feet are placed on railroad tracks, not a tightrope. Gives us a more stable base. Hug the left hip back and down. Lift the right hip up and forward. On an exhale, open up to warrior two. Sit a little bit deeper. Hug the shoulder blades in. Fire up the arms by pressing down like you're pressing onto a shelf, and gaze out over those right fingertips. Flip the right palm. Inhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale. Reverse triangle, straighten the front leg, and exhale, Trikonasana, triangle pose. Lengthen as far forward as you can. Maintain a micro bend in that front knee. Draw the shoulders down away from the ears. And then think about that left thumb coming back to open up the chest towards the ceiling. Come back up to warrior two on an inhale. And on an exhale, we're gonna pivot those right toes forward, coming back up into our crescent lunge. Bring your right arm underneath your left, preparing for eagle. And then take a bend into that back right knee. Spring up, oops, and if you don't get there, it's okay. Then eagle wrap, right leg over the left. And then pull your elbows forward and reach your fingertips up towards the ceiling. Hug the knees over to the right, elbows towards the left. And on an exhale, fly that eagle back into its nest. I'm a little shaky on this side today, and that's okay. Just continue hugging those outer hips in, hollowing the belly. Maybe drawing it in just a little bit more. And then inhale, unbind. Come up to Katasana, mountain pose. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant your palms. We're gonna flow through one more vinyasa. I think it's only our second vinyasa of class. Inhale up to Cobra Pose. And this time, as you exhale, pivot onto the pinky edge of your right foot. Dip your right hip towards the mat. Just feel that nice stretch in the QL muscles, all the muscles that run along the right side body. Inhale back through center, collarbones spread wide. And exhale, dip the left hip, gaze towards the right. Inhale back, upward facing dog. And exhale to our final downward facing dog of class. Go ahead and walk your feet through. Come up into a boat pose. Draw your chest up and your belly and knees in towards one another. And then on an exhale, slowly lower down. Slowly, 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 slowly hover in that low boat pose. Open up your chest, drop your shoulders down and back into their sockets. And then come down onto your back. We're going to take a twisted root here, which is an eagle wrap with the legs. So we're going to take the right leg over the left. And then we're going to gently allow the knees to fall towards the left. Gaze towards the right, or gaze can be up towards the ceiling, just depends on what feels right in your body. And then allowing your eyes to close and looking out towards the right. And then blink your eyes open, carefully come back to center, unbind, and you can wiggle from side to side. Bring the left knee on top of the right. Option to cross the left toes behind the right ankle. And then as the knees come over towards the right, your gaze can be up or out towards the left. And then just take a moment here to close your eyes. Hollowing the low belly. Slowing the breath. And then with an exhale, use your core to come back to center. Unbind, hug the knees into the chest, wrap your forearms around your shins as you come into a tight, tiny little ball. Nice, big, deep inhale. And an open mouth exhale.